little to add to what we have already heard from the previous speakers, right from His Eminence. The admonition is one that none of us can disagree with. But let me start formally by bringing to you the condolences of all our governors. All of us have individually spoken to our colleague when this unfortunate incident occurred here on the Plateau. But we felt it wasn't enough to just speak to him and commiserate with him and with the families of the dead departed, but also to physically demonstrate concern by showing up on the Plateau on behalf of all our governors. And that's why this delegation is here when His Eminence graciously accepted that we join the NIREC delegation to this gathering. We are experiencing challenging times, but there is always opportunity in adversity, particularly if we draw lessons from the circumstances in which we find ourselves. And I believe Plateau has drawn more lessons from sectarian violence than many of us across the length and breadth of the country. Particularly since the assumption of office of our brother, he has done so much to build the bridges of understanding on the Plateau. And one of the lessons that many of us from other states have drawn from is the work of the Peace Commission here, which came out of the difficult challenges that had been experienced here on the Plateau. As an institutional framework that brings all parties together to try and resolve age-long, deep-seated differences by building better understanding. I think there's a lot that we have learned from the government here, and that is why we fully associate ourselves with His Eminence's admonition that the governor of Plateau should not be distracted in his pursuit of peace and in his pursuit of better understanding, because ultimately, as a country, we also have to acknowledge that the path to peace is justice, and the path to justice is fairness, equity, and inclusion. And anyone who has been elected into a position of leadership and authority in our country must always reflect that in his or her actions. And clearly, that is something that is consistently reflected by my brother, Governor Simon Bakola Long. For us at the Governors Forum, we have some core values that are irrefutable, because we believe a better Nigeria, a new Nigeria, a Nigeria that is responsive and responsible to the yearnings of its citizens is ahead of us. We must do everything within our powers to strengthen the bonds of unity amongst our people. And whatever stands in the way of strengthening that bond are the issues that we must always focus on. We've been told about the attraction that just holds for many of us The people who have been talking to you have been talking from the perspective of coming from Kaduna or Sokoto, which is, of course, an acknowledgement of that. But I'm sure you also know, as residents on the Plateau, that you have streets here that are almost exclusively populated by Yoruba people or Igbo people who have lived there for almost a century, because Jos is a glue that binds. And the Plateau is a place that attracts people from a variety of ethnicities. So why should we then use ethnicity or religion as a basis for division in the ranks of our people? We shouldn't. So our presence here on behalf of the governors is in solidarity with Governor Lalong on all the steps he has been taking in order to heal the wounds and strengthen the bonds amongst our people on the Plateau. Because, as I said, there are lessons for all of us. Sectarian violence is not unique to Plateau, but commitment to peace is one that we must be uncompromising about. Because without peace, there can hardly be any progress or development in any place. And what we're doing this for is progress, is development for our people across the board. So we associate fully with our interreligious leaders. We associate fully with our community leaders who have shown commitment to the promotion of peace in difficult times. And indeed, difficult times. And leadership exhibits itself more in difficult times. Because for us, yes, we're here as governors, His Eminence, political leaders, but you are really the leaders. Because leadership is not title. Leadership is not the office we occupy. Leadership is the influence that we wield in our various communities. So when we leave this gathering today, one pledge that we must commit ourselves to is to use our influence to bring about peace where we have responsibility. And I know that all of us here would not find it difficult to commit to that. Yes, as a historian, there are causes of conflict. Some of those issues, and I know the government is not glossing over that. But in trying to understand the causes, we must not create opportunities for exacerbating tension. It must just be with a view to healing wounds, correcting wrongs, and bringing our people together. And that's our mission. That's our prayer. And that's our commitment as governors from the 36 states of the Federation. Governor Lalong, to work with NIREC, to work with our royal fathers here in Plateau and all over the country, and to work with our security leaders so that we put this behind us. And we have to permanently put it behind us, because this is not the first time. There have been several commissions of inquiry set up on the Plateau. There have been several reports produced on the Plateau on sectarian violence and divisions. I think we must commit ourselves to saying never again must the Plateau be consumed by sectarian violence. Never again must we jettison peace, justice, fairness, equity, inclusion in our quest for development on the Plateau. And I am convinced that just as we are willing as governors to work with you, the federal government of Nigeria is also irrevocably committed to this. And I'm sure the representative of the president, when he speaks, would make that very clear in his own remarks. But I want to once again commiserate with the families of the dearly departed, and we pray that they would have the courage, God will give them the courage and the fortitude to bear the loss of their loved ones. We would support peace initiatives on behalf of the Governors Forum, and we will communicate our support to the governor, which will be in monetary terms to assist the families of those that are coping and recuperating from these unfortunate losses. I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. God bless the Plateau. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.